here. My name is Kay, and to all my old subscribers, thank you for sticking around. Everyone, and thanks for clicking on this video. I know I've been missing for quite some time, but I've been doing something different, and I'll be doing something different too in this video. So I'll be doing some videos that are catered to traveling and what you have to do. This video is more so about how to buy an airline ticket, and then I'll have other videos that are geared to buying your ticket online, what to look out for. We will be traveling from Calgary, so I would type in Calgary. But before I do that, I just want to point out, if you're traveling on a return trip, that means you're going from point A, but you're going to be coming back, you will have to select the return trip. If you're just traveling to one destination and you're leaving from point A and you went to, say for instance, New York, but you're not coming back, that is considered a one-way, right? And again, we can also do a video on purchasing a one-way ticket, and there's also the option of purchasing multiple city tickets through the airline website. So let's just ensure that we click back onto the return trip. And as I said, we're leaving from Calgary, Alberta, and we will be going to Montego Bay, Jamaica. And before I continue, your airlines on the right side have 3-letter codes, and that's just for airline purposes. If you know the 3-letter code when you're purchasing the ticket, you could go ahead and select that, but I would suggest you use the wordings. So if you're leaving from New York, type in New York. If you're leaving from London, type in London, because some of the 3-letter codes might be close, and you might select the wrong thing. And again, after selecting that final submit purchase button, always go over to ensure what you're purchasing. So I'm going to be selecting a Montego Bay, Jamaica. We are now going to select the departure date, then the return date. I would like, so one thing with this airline, it gives you the calendar type style ticket options or fare options, what the tickets are intended to be. But these prices that you're seeing right here are just for one way. When I go further down into the ticket, you will see what I mean. This, of course, means that it's like a sale price, and these are pretty much just regular. So I will click on leaving from the 3rd of November, and I want to spend 2 weeks. And 2 weeks would bring me back to the 17th of November, and also ensure that your year is the year that you want to travel. You're selecting one guest. If you're traveling with more than one persons, you would change it. And if you're traveling with infants or children, you would select that. Infants under 2 do not pay a fare. However, they pay fees and taxes. So we're not traveling with any children. We're traveling with one person. That's just me. And we're going to save that. And then we select the get flights option. So this is kind of the tricky part where I think a lot of people will get flustered. Again, the previous selection where I put the dates, it gave you like the calendar view. This one is just giving you 3 days before your date of travel or intended date of travel, and 3 days after the intended days of travel. Basically, it's giving you options, fare prices of what the day before or the day after or 2 days before could be. And again, that's if your travel dates are flexible. So you're selecting flight 00 is anything after midnight. So this flight will depart after midnight, but you would start to check in the night before. We'll click on the flight details. Again, It's a connecting flight. We'll talk about that. Calgary, YYZ to Toronto. As I said, it's connecting, and it's a 3 hours and 58 minutes flight. It leaves midnight, so 20 past 12, midnight, November 3rd, and it arrives Sunday, November 3rd at 5:18 a.m. Then you have a layover and you want to pay any flight that has a connection. You want to pay attention to the layover time. That's because you want to ensure that in the event that there should be a delay or something, you are still able to catch the connecting flight. And of course, if it's Toronto to Montego Bay, it's a 4 hours and 28 minutes flight. These are the flight airline aircraft specifics. And basically, this is what the flight details tells you. You click off that. It only has one fare options. There's other flights sometimes that have more than one fare options or one class option. Right now, this aircraft is only selling economy tickets, which is from $692 and $24. And we'll view this because this is where things get a little bit more technical. So I will start with the least favorite ticket. There's the ultra basic that recently came out, which basically gives you nothing as a traveler, but if it suits you, fine. It's the cheapest. It's the $692.24. This is what you saw right here. But again, it gives you nothing. No carry-on, no personal items, no changes or cancellation last aboard. So basically nothing. It only allows you to carry one personal bag. So basically if you wanted to buy some to carry a checker bag, check bags for a higher fee. Then we move on to Ethno or Econ. It gives you a little bit more options. You earn rewards. You have to pay for a bag, a check bag, if you so desire to take one. You do now get to carry a carry-on bag. You still have the personal item, but you have to pay to select a seat in advance. And if you would like to change or cancel your fee, it's your ticket, it's for a credit and a fee. So the most flexible, as it says right here, is the Econ Flex, which basically gives you everything that the last two hasn't, which means it is the highest price. One seat left and it's just one person traveling, so you could go ahead and select that. Remember, I told you previous that that fare is just for one way. So we're going to select your return flight, select return flight. Again, the flights pretty much coming from Montego Bay are connecting flights. Again, you would go down into the flight details if you want to verify and ensure that this flight is something that you want. So this flight leaves Montego Bay to Toronto it's a 4 hour and 80 minutes flight. It departs Montego Bay November 17 at 2:55 p.m. and it arrives in Toronto, Canada on November 17 at 7:13. Again, we will pay attention to the layover hours. So this is a good layover hours, 3 hours and 22 minutes, because you might be collecting bags, going through other checkpoints. Toronto to Calgary, departing November 17 at 10:35 p.m., 2200, and you arrive Monday, November 18 at 1:06. So you go in to the following day. Again, this flight now has economy cabin, but it also has a premium cabin. And that is why on, not on this one, sorry, but it will, it doesn't. So view, it has only one seat, one class, and those are the economy. It doesn't have a premium, but it seems as if they would be changing the aircraft. So just pay attention to what you're selecting because that will determine your price. This one, it doesn't have the ultra basic as when you were selecting the departing flight. It only has the econ and the ecnoflex. So again, if none of this bothers you, by all means, you would select this one. But if you're somebody who wants to carry a bag and also check a bag and select your seat ahead of time, change, and if anything should happen, you are a little bit secured knowing that you can change or cancel for a fee, for a credit, sorry, and no fee, as opposed to this one where you have to pay a fee or a credit. So I would select the confirm, and now it's just going to tie in both departing and returning tickets, and this is where your total will be. So total of that one trip, Calgary to Montego Bay, November 3rd to November 17th, one adult, and your fare class are both Ecnoflex. So these are the ones that are a little bit more flexible. Premium, which is the higher class of tickets, are more flexible than these, but they are more expensive. And the total of this ticket is $2,096.43 Canadian. You would now enter your details and ensure that you're entering the correct details that is in your travel document. So you want to start off with the title, and it says here it's required by CBSA and TSA. So if you're Mr. or Mrs., Master, Miss, you want to put whichever one is relevant. Your first name, middle name is optional, your last name, date of birth, and your gender. You select the program. I think this has to do whether you're on WestJet, you have a frequent flyer rewards, or Air France, Delta Airlines, and that kind of stuff. You would enter it in order to get your miles. And one important thing that could be done here, which you can also add later on, you do want to go ahead and put whether or not you have medical concerns. So this, you can click on that to learn more. So for people that are requiring oxygen or stuff like that, you want to ensure that you advise the airline ahead of time for this. You can't just be checking in the day off and then you request this. You want to ask so they can ensure that they get the necessary equipment, or the aircraft is equipped to accommodate your needs. Accessible requests, this has to do with whether you're partially sighted, they'll help you with that. Deaf or partial hearing, wheelchair access, and there are three kinds. You want to click on that again. These ones you can add before, during, and a little bit after. It's always good to go ahead and add these things so that you know there's more possibility of you getting the services ahead of time. It gives you an option to create an account here. It's either you want to or not. Then you definitely want to add an email address, because this is where all your information about your ticket will go to from here on, your phone number. And if this is where now, if you purchase a ticket that will give you free selection before the day of travel, this is where you would go and click on that and it would populate. But because I'm not buying a ticket, it's not gonna go through, and especially because I did not enter these fields, they came back with the red selection because they're required fields. You do all of that and you enter until the last submit button, until it's ready to purchase the ticket. So for now, I'm just gonna say, if you found this a video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe, and make sure to turn on your notification bell for the next video, which is something that will go more into airlines and what you want to look out for. So again, subscribe and see you in my next video. Bye.